Today I'm going to be checking out these 6x6 post bases. I was sent this at no cost so I could do this review. Let's take these things out of the box and check them out. And in the box you're going to get 6 of these really nice heavy gauge 6x6 post bases. So these are raised bases, and that's very important. If you have a 6x6 and you're putting it in a flat base and it's just sitting there, it's right there on the ground, introduced to all the elements and everything else, and even if it's treated, you still have the possibility of rot and everything else that's coming from the earth and water that is down there. But if you lift yours off, like these are lifted, then now your post is off the ground. It's much less likely to get water being, sucked into the wood, and it keeps it nice and dry and protected. So these raised bases are really nice when you're putting these things on concrete, just to keep it from wicking up the water off the ground. And these are, I don't know if you can see that really well in video, these things are really nice heavy gauge. These aren't thin flimsy brackets. These are really nice heavy brackets. It's got all of the holes you need already pre-drilled, so that way you can put in all the screws to hold your 6x6 in. And then on the bottom you've got 2 screw holes here, where if you're gonna maybe mount these down to like a wooden deck, then you might want to put the screws there. But most of the time I see these mounted to concrete, which is what we did on ours, and then you put an anchor bolt, something like this, where you drill the hole into the concrete and put it in, and then it goes through here. Now, of course, this can accommodate a much larger anchor bolt if you're putting this into some really thick, heavy concrete. And if not, you could still use an anchor bolt like this. That's something about this big, because most of our concrete's only about 4 inches. But you would want a much bigger washer to really grasp and hold that well. These by default don't usually come with real big washers. These do not come with the package. These are just ones we have for the project we're going to be doing soon. But yeah, these are really nice heavy duty brackets, very thick gauge. I have no questions on the quality or longevity of these brackets. They're going to look like they're going to do really well. They're coated really well. It does come with this little manual too that just kind of goes over, making sure everything's nice and tight and seated well when you put them in, but your basic information that you need to know. So let's go ahead and put a 6x6 in this thing and see how well it fits. And here you have your standard 6x6 dimensional lumber, and as you can see, it is a perfect fit into these brackets. And then you could easily drill your screws into here. We'll typically use screws that are kind of like this. They're coated deck screws, but you can use, there's tons of different types of screws. You can use stainless steel, you can use galvanized. I mean, you're going to want something that's got some kind of protection on them, but we usually just use these kind of deck screws because we're using them everywhere else anyway. Of course, this one's kind of short. I'd probably use longer ones, but that's just an example. But yeah, they fit really well in these bases. I mean, they're perfectly sized for them and very sturdy. They're nice and square. Everything looks really nice on them, honestly. We're going to be doing a covered overhang on our shop pretty soon, and we will be using these bases to do it. So I hope this review and information session was helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care.